Tamara here from Posh Cat Crafts. Thank you for joining me. In today's video I'd like to show you how to make a box page using your Tonic Studio die collection, and this one's called Keepsake Book Memory Album, and it's a series of dies that you get in the set that allows you to make different size albums. You can make albums from quite big down to very small. So when I say a box page, this is what I mean. It's a page that gives you a bit more scope to put more embellishments in than just a normal page. On one of my previous videos I showed you how to extend the album spine. So that means to give you more width between each hinge, and that gives you that perfect give, so that your albums aren't bulky and bulging. So this is what we're going to make today. So this would be the outer side of your box page, and then you open it out, and then this is what's inside. So this side here I've added a flap with some journaling space. These are all I've used magnetic clasps to help keep everything nice and tidy and closed. In here you've just got some labels, and then I've done this as like a waterfall effect with like a belly band. So you open that out, and then these are all individual places for storing photographs, extra journaling, whatever you wish. So that's what they're for, and then they just all snap shut in there. So what will you need? So let's get on to what you'll need. This album does look a bit naked at the moment, because I'm hoping to do more videos. As I make each page up, I'm going to post a video showing you different stages of this album until it's all completed. So what you'll need, you will need 4 of the album pages that you've die cut. This size that I've used is the 5 1/4 by 7 1/4 size. So that's the size I've used here. So you'll need 4 sheets of that cut out. You'll then need a structure strip, which is this here, and the size of the structure strip is 1 1/2 by 6 1/8. You'll need to then score at 1/2 inch and 1 inch to give you that fold. So then it makes it into like a little spine there. Then what you'll need to do is you'll need 2 of the pages. On the structure strip you'll need to put your red line tape. So you'll put your red line tape along the outside and along that outside, and then stick the 2 pages either side, so it creates like a little book. Okay, what you need to do now is you'll need to score your single side page. So you need to have the short edge butted up to the top of your scoreboard and the long edge down the side. So you need to score at 2 inches. You could score whatever size you want to, really. It's just to give you a flap, but I just like to score mine at 2 inches. Put some double-sided tape along the bottom, and then what I'm going to do is I'm just going to put some glue up the sides. But then before I stick this down to my project, I've cut out my decorative paper in the matte size, which is here. So that's the matte size. As you can see, it fits perfectly. It gives you a lovely, not matte, I should say layer. It gives you a lovely layer effect. So you need to glue that down. Oops. This is a new glue, so it's just spilled out everywhere. I'm going to have to do something with that. There we go. Okay. Stick that down. If you wanted to be a bit more frugal with your pattern paper, you could maybe cut some of that off, because you're not going to see it under there. But just for the purpose of this video, I've left it on. Okay, add your glue along the edge. And along that edge. And then take off the backing of your double-sided tape. And then we need to just stick it down. I just try and marry the corners together. There we go. Just to help it get to stick firmly, I'm going to add just to keep that closed, just while that adheres. So while that's doing, I'm going to leave this side for a minute and we're going to work on this side. So this side again, I'm going to cut out my decorative paper and then we can start going through this. Okay, before we get started on this side, I've just cut out my decorative paper that I'm going to adhere down on there before we get started on the construction of the waterfall effect. So let's get this stuck down. I'm using a mixture of scrapbook paper on this project. It's pages that I've got left over that maybe I've only got one or two of if I've used a collection up before, and I just have some left, so I'm kind of trying to use just match them all up so that they go. Okay, that's adhered down. Right, okay, for this next part, which is the waterfall one, which is this here, which is this, what we're going to make here, we're going to make that now. So what you'll need for that, you will need 10 of these small pages, and these measure at 2 3/4 by 5, so 2 3/4 by 5, and you're going to need 10. You're also going to need some more structure strips, and you're going to need 8 structure strips that measure 4.5 by 1 inch, and you're going to need 8 of those. You're going to need 2 structure strips that measure 2 1/8 by 1 inch, so 2 1/8 by 1 inch. So I've got some here that I just need to cut out, so we'll cut them out, and they were 4.5, 4.5, and that one's 4.5. So remember, we needed 8 of those. Right, you need your scoring board, and all these structure strips need to be scored at 1/2 inch. just got to cut one more. Okay. So that's 1, 2, 3, 5, 6, 7, and this one is the 8th. And then the 2 again, score them at 1/2 inch. Okay. Right, next part we just need to fold these over and give them a crisp score line. This bit takes the time. There we are. Right, I've just put my red line tape now, my double-sided tape, on all my structure strips. I've burnished them down so that they're all nice and stuck and there's no air bubbles. There we go. Okay, next step, we need to take our pages, and what we're going to do is we're going to adhere the structure strips onto the back. I do apologise if you can hear a lot of crashing and banging and rustling in the background. My daughter also shares my space, and she's got to make something, so I do apologise if you can hear that. I will tell her to be quiet if she gets too bad. Right, so you just need to take one of the sides off your double-sided tape and then just adhere them onto the back. And if you do that with all of your pages, we'll then start the next step. I've got a very busy weekend coming up. I'm off to a retreat. We have a company here called Indigo Blue, and they do rubber stamps, stencils, lots and lots of yummy goodness, and I've booked for the whole weekend. We're going to stay at a hotel, and we just basically craft for the whole weekend and get taught by Kay, who's the owner. So I'm really looking forward to that. That should be a fantastic weekend. Okay, right, I think this is the last one. Excellent. There we are. Now we need to get the smaller structure strips. I think they were the 2 1/8 by 1 inch. We need to have these here. Now what we're going to do with these is these go onto the bottom of one of the pages. So we need to just adhere those to there, and then these will make the hinge for our belly band. Okay, that's done. Okay, then what we're going to do is we're going to adhere them to our page. Now you want to try and get them quite equal distance between either sides. So, but what you can do is if you put some double-sided tape that side, which I've forgotten to do. Okay. And that should work. That, yeah. Excellent. Right, so what we need to do is we need to take off double-sided tape. I'm going to get that in place. Like so. Then you just need to turn it over, get the score line, it's about equal, and then stick down like so. Now you will have tape this side, but don't worry, because this page is going to be covered. This one is going to act as our hinge, so you won't see the workings, but we'll come to that in a minute. So on your other hinge, your piece of card, your paper, you need to just add a little bit of double-sided tape on the inside there, exactly the same as what you did with this, but just add your double-sided tape just on that one area. There we go. Cut that off, trim that down, remove the tape. Okay, and then this part is pretty easy, because all you need to do is just line the two labels together and then stick. Okay, now I'm going to add some magnets on these. Now these are quite strong magnets, these ones. I'm trying to use the thicker ones if these are the ones I have, which I think are about 10mm by, say 10mm across by, I think it's about 2mm width, or the depth. Okay, so then what I do, so I'll put one there, then one underneath, and hopefully, oh, they'll find each other and stick. That's it. And then all I need to do then is I'm going to use some tiny bit of super glue. On the back. You could use, actually no, I'm not going to use super glue. I'll use some PVA, that would be better. Thinking if this is going to be a scrap book, you really need something that's acid free. So that's one side. Then I'll just hold that down. Put the glue. Add. And then they should find each other and stick. There we go. And then what will happen is when we cover these with your decorative papers, you won't see the magnets. Okay, so that's them done. Okay, fixing this all together. You're best to start at the bottom and work your way up. Now how I do with this, it's pretty easy with this one because you've got the perforations, so I tend to just gauge myself with the perforations. So I'm going to start at the bottom. So you take off your double-sided tape, and then we're just going to place it down roughly about there, so it's kind of level. There we go. Excellent. There we are. Now they will stick up at the beginning, but don't worry, that once you get the belly bands on, that will stop that. Okay, the next one, what you need to do is I measure 3 of the perforations. So the perforations on the end, on the sides, if you can see them there. I'm so sorry, it's very, very sunny here today, so I'm trying to. So you can see the perforations here. I count 3 up, and then that's where that's my gauge of what I use. So you count 3 up and then put down. There we go, and it just fits in that little space perfectly, and then it will give you a nice clean, what should I call it, nice clean straight edge all the way up. And then we have it finished, and then when that then goes there, and then it holds it all nicely in place. Okay, on to decorating. I've already cut out my decorative paper that I'm going to use to put onto the front. Now with this one you use the layer. So you get the mat, and this is the layer. So this is the layer that you'd put over them. So again, you can pick whichever paper you like to put on here, and you just stick them down. When my glue decides to work. Let's try it now. Yep, there we go. And I'm going to see which ones I've got. Okay, so I'm going to put these 2 on the outside and then these 2 on the inside. and then this will cover your magnet. Okay. And the other end. And then this side. And then what I'm going to do is I'm just going to use my clips just to clip that down where the magnet is. I think that'll be done. There we go, so that's that side finished, all done. So we open it out and all of them are nice and neatly decorated. Okay, right, we're going to this side, and how I'm going to do this is I'm going to die cut the layer of the page, and then I will cut it in half. Okay, I've cut my decorative paper out. Now what I'm going to do is I'm just going to mark a line just where the fold is and cut down there. So I've just marked a line there. So I'm not going by a measurement. And then just find it on here. Okay, now that goes there, and then this one is going to go on that side. I'm just going to trim that bit down, and then I'm going to cut another one for there, or I might use that one there, just trim that bit off. Just trim a tiny bit. And then see, yes, that's perfect. But before I glue it down, I'm going to add the magnets. So I have here in a little pot, just down here, let's have a look. Got quite a few different size magnets in here. Okay, I'm going to go with that. These ones, I think. If I can get them off, they do stick together quite hard. Let's try some of this. There's one. And it seems to be, if you've got two, there we go. They tend to stick. Go. So just put a little bit of glue on there. Hold that down for a minute, hopefully that will stick. Although I may bring it over a little bit. That's not really in the right place for where I want it. I want it more in the middle. About there, I think. There. Okay, we just need to add a little bit more glue. Stick it down. And okay, right, let's glue this one down. Wrong way. There we go. Although I think I may need to take a little bit of that off. This is what happens when you don't measure. Okay, that's looking a bit more. That's looking a bit more like it. There we go. Stick that down. Okay, then this one goes on the back. Like so. Yeah. So that's that side, that's all finished now. So all we've got now is the labels, which you can cut out. I'm going to actually, in the one that I've already made, I used the memory book 1 pages as my labels, but I think what I'm going to do today is I might use the dies, the pages out of this one. So I may use these, I might use it that way, and so it just gives me a different look. And I'm going to put some, what should I put on there, some lace I think, just to add a bit more. Yeah, I think I'm going to put some lace on there, like so, and maybe a little, actually I quite like that, so I'm going to put that on there, like that. And what I use to stick my ribbons down is Fabri-Tac. There. It's the best that I've found that stick your ribbons and lace in place. So I just add a bit on the side, on there. It is very good glue. There we go. Right, I'm just going to tidy this edge up. Okay, so that's that bit done. I could add a bit more lace, I suppose. No, that's fine. Okay, so that's that done. You can see that in there. Right, now to do the labels. So when I come back, I'll have cut the labels out, and then we can add the decoration to them. Okay, I've cut out my tags now. So I'm just going to stick them all together. I'm going to put decorative paper on one side and then the white cardstock on the other, and then I'm going to add a little I don't know, what shall I add? Might add either some ribbon, or I might add a file pull on the side there. Okay, stick these together. Ah, my glue. There we go. Now what I use to make the labels, the two dies that I used are these. It's that one. No, it was the bigger one, so it's this one, I think. Yes. So the ones I use to make the labels are this size here, and then so that would be your layer, and then this would be the page, but this is the page for the smaller size, so they just layer nicely in there. So that's why there's got the perforations round. You can see just about, there we go, in there. So I'll just put the white cardstock on. Okay. And then this page, oh, there goes my dogs. It's early evening here, so they're getting ready for, they're saying it's dinner time. So once I've fed this, I'm off then to feed the dogs. I have two chihuahuas, and they are being very, very good, because normally they're running around, they're only just over a year old, so normally they're just running around everywhere. Okay, so that's my label. So then they will go in here like so. 1, 2, 3. So they're in there. I'm going to do some pulleys on them, some label pulls when I find them. I've just cut out my little tab pulls, and these come in a accessory pack like this. These are dies, again from Tonic Studios, and these are the Memory Book Maker 2, or the Keepsake book album, and these are the tabs and paper clips. So that's how they sort of come there, and I've cut mine out of some gold cardstock just to add a bit more of a bling. So there's that one. You just fold them in half and then you put them on. So I'm going to put mine on here like this. I will leave links either down below, or I will put them at the end of the video of what I've actually used, etc. There we go, there's one more. Put that in there like that. And then I'm going to use, I think I'll use that one. And then that's that one there, look. Look, you could use it as a little key or a little keyhole. So that goes on there like that, and then, oh, come off, there we go, a bit of the gold, there we are. Okay, and then that goes in there like that. That just adds a nice little element to your, and they're easier to pull as well, which makes it's handy. So that's that finished. Oh, I've got this paper clip. Where should I put that? I might put that on there, and then what I may do later on is just put something in there, like a little sentiment or something like that. So I'm just going to glue this on. Oops, sorry, I'm out of shot there. There we go. Just glue, and then I'll put it on like so. Oop, there. Oop. There we go. That's there, and then I might actually put the bigger one on. That might be better. Yeah, that looks a little better. There we go. I've just sort of tacked it on so you can put something in there to hold something. There we go. Right, so that's our page sort of finished. The inside. Now what we need to do is we need to finish this back. So what we need for that is we need our other die cut page that we've done. So this would be your fourth. Now we're going to leave a gap at the top so that we can put in another label, sorry, not a label, another tag we can put in there. So let me just gather what I'm doing. So that, then let me get my album. Okay, I grant this doesn't look the best at present, but once it's finished it's going to look brilliant. So that goes in there like so. I push that down, there we are. Excellent, so then they fit in like that. Right, so we are going to use, it's going to be this side here, so we're going to put our glue down the sides like that, a bit up there, a bit up there. But what we need to think of, I've forgotten what I'm going to do now, what it is that we're going to do is we need to leave this side here free. So where I've put the glue, what I'm going to do is I'm going to add some extra tape, because this is what our hinge is going to adhere to. Okay, right, burnish that down. Okay, take that. I'm just going to take off a tiny bit and bend that back, so I'll use that as our flap. Take this one off like so, and then stick our page down like so, like so. Okay, and then this bit has been left, because this is what we're going to adhere to our hinge. Now as you can see on our hinge, if you followed my other video, I put the double-sided tape on already. So one side, two sides. Okay. Right, get our little tab out, hopefully. There we go. Okay. Right. And then what it does is it just slots over the tab, the hinge. That's why they call it then the hidden hinge system. So it's just a little bit tricky just to get them, as I want them matched up. That's excellent. And then just burnish them down so that they stick. That's okay, and that's the other page. So there we have 2 pages now finished in our book. So that's excellent. So that's one. We open that one out and we've got our waterfall effect labels there with some extra pull out labels, a little secret flap that you can flap open, and then this side exactly the same, some pull outs, and there. The next pages I'm going to make different, so I'm going to edit this video now, and then I'm going to get on and fix the other pages. If you've liked what you've seen, please follow my channel, and you will then hopefully, as we progress through this album, we will then have a finished album at the end of it. Give me a like, give me a subscribe. I'm on Facebook, I'm on Pinterest, I'm on Instagram. If you have any of those social medias, it would be lovely to see you on those. Thanks again, have a lovely evening, see you soon, bye.